Live, Bucher.
Woo!
What is shaking? It is episode 8 of the Golden Mike Live. This one is an awesome one. I sent out a bat signal and someone received it and is coming through big time. Coach Aimee Bucher. I rehearsed it like 5 times.
It's
I screwed it up.
It's hard. It's okay.
Rewind this. And everybody who is watching from IPEC, give us a thumbs up. Everyone watching from the Beyond Resilient group, give us a thumbs up. We are getting to know each other on the fly. But like she and I were talking about earlier, everyone's got a story. Everyone's got some values. And we're going to talk about them right now in the next couple minutes. So this is the deal. You're in Ohio. What's going on up there?
Well, so today we had all of the weathers. We had sun, we had wind, we had rain, we had snow, we had sleet, we had hail. It was awesome.
Okay, like that's like all of the feels, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here in Florida, we had all of the weathers as well. We had sunrise and sunset. Everything was like the same temperature.
Rubbing salt in the wound here.
Yeah, I totally Well, that's what happens when you don't know each other. But this is the first question that, in terms of getting to know each other, that I wanted to just throw out there. Let's just get started.
Excellent.
What's your story?
All right. So what's my story? Yeah. So I'm Aimee Bucher. I am currently a transformation coach and doing a lot of different things. But my journey started when I was born, like all of us. But my journey really took root last June. Third Wednesday in June of 2017, I got divorced. Fourth Wednesday in June, I got fired from my job. Hi, Ritu. Good to see you. So in the midst of that, both things weren't entirely unexpected, but still a shock to the system. And suddenly this emptiness of who am I? How do I identify myself now? And I realized in that moment the opportunity that I had a blank slate, that I had it was like a reset button got pushed on my life, and I could do anything I wanted to do. I had no limits on myself anymore. So who did I want to be, and what did I want to do with my life? Where could I make the biggest impact in the world with what I'm doing?
Okay, so it sounds like there was a period of time in June 2017 that was it was quite wild for you.
It was a wild ride.
So I want to backtrack then. Tell me about what your life was like around April or May of 2017. It sounds like you were married, you had a job. What was going on? What was life like then?
Okay, so we were separated by then. I was out on my own. So the marriage was pretty well wrapping up. I was working full time for a marketing agency, but the writing was on the wall. They had asked me to be partner, and I had said no, and I was slowly being phased out over a 6-month period. So I saw it happening. It was still a shock when it happened, but I love that I was able to just find the opportunity in all of it.
Absolutely. So that can be a pretty hardcore event where people are having a hard time finding the opportunity. I want to ask you, that June, would you say that it was? No, I don't want to lead you on a yes/no question, right? What was the June like? Was it shitty? Because I'm hearing you finding opportunity, right? But I'm also trying to live in, the finality of a divorce and the finality of being fired.
There was a lot of questioning on my part. So I got fired at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday. I was already divorced at this point, and I'm driving home in my car, and I'm literally thinking, what am I going to do with the rest of my day? Like, I didn't even look beyond that. I was just like in that day, like, so now what? So I took a right and went to the Apple store to get a computer because I didn't have a computer.
Right on.
Got pulled over for speeding on the way.
Oh
and
my gosh.
That's when it hit me, because the cop leans in my car and I just burst into tears. He's like, are you okay? I'm like, oh, I just got fired. And he ended up just giving me a warning, and I told him he was my best friend, and he just was like, be careful.
Yeah, right on.
And that night, as I'm setting up my new computer that I purchased on credit through the Apple store, because I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to have money again. Yeah. That night, I'm setting up my computer, downloading Adobe Creative Suite, all of that, and drinking a glass of wine. And going, what am I going to do? And as the shock started to wear off, it just hit me that I had opportunity. And I think really that's kind of my superpower, that I didn't stay in that place of for very long. And that's the gift that I have to bring to the world. Because when I share this story with people, they say the same thing that you say, that's crazy. Those are really upsetting events, and to have two of them right there that close together. And for me, I guess my gift to the world is that I can see that opportunity in myself and other people and say, and sometimes other people don't want to hear it right away necessarily. You just got fired. Yeah. Oh, there's opportunity. No, they'd be like, slap. But but it's crazy that when you have those situations, and because all of us have that, we all have those challenges, we have those situations that just try to crush us. Sure. And when we can come out from under that and say, no, this isn't going to crush me because there's too much in the universe that's for me to let just this be against me.
Okay, so tell me about the superpower a little bit more. And when was the earliest that you knew you had this sort of superpower to be able to reframe during the crappiest events?
I think my first realization of this would have been, in October of 2016, my husband and I decided to get divorced, and then it was just kind of a crushing experience on a lot of levels for a lot of different reasons. I ended up being homeless for a month, moved into my own place in the beginning of December, and struggled with a lot of things within that situation. And I came across, of all things, this little quote or whatever it was on the internet, and it said, "Be obsessively grateful." And I posted it on a whim. I posted it on Facebook and said, I'm going to make 2017 my year of gratefulness. And I posted it. And then I'm like, shit, now I have to actually do that. And so every single day in the year of 2017, I posted something that I was grateful for. And I'll tell you what, they say, if you want to be happy, be grateful. And that is the truth. there is so much truth in that if you actively seek things to be grateful for, and some days it was really easy, and I'd post like I'm grateful that there's so many things to be grateful for. And some days I was like, I'm grateful for toilet paper.
Sure.
But actively seeking out that gratefulness every day really shifted my perspective on everything in my life, because suddenly I would find things, I would look all day long. What can I be grateful for? I got to find something for tomorrow, or I'm building a list, and it just shifts the whole world for you.
Yeah, I'm glad that that's something that you have brought up, as there is a lot more research that's coming out now on the practice of gratuity and the effect that has, not only on just perspective-wise. So people would be like, "Oh, that's your woo-woo way of like getting through crap," right? But there's also a change in the brain chemistry, because as a neuroscience major, we were taught the brain is a machine, and whatever you tell it to do, it will follow. So if you tell the machine to look for things to be grateful for, the habit changes after a couple days. I mean, it takes a day for the brain to sort of get out of those habits, but then you're suddenly grateful for like 30 things a day and 40 things, to the point where I'd like to think that people are constantly living in a state of gratuity. They're not seeking it anymore. They just are being it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's where I got to last June. I was just living it. Instead of having to actively seek it out, I was just living it. And so as I'm sitting there, drinking my wine, sitting on my computer, being divorced, freshly fired, going, okay, what am I grateful for in this situation?
And what were you grateful for?
I was grateful that I had a new computer. I was grateful for my glass of wine. I was grateful for my cat who was rubbing up against my lap, and I was petting him as I was doing that. I was grateful that I had all this opportunity in front of me, that the world was wide open, that I didn't have any limitations.
And you better have been grateful for that damn cop who let you off the hook.
I was very grateful for the cop. That might have been my grateful post the next day. I'm not sure.
Okay, so now we're moving out. We're moving from June 2017 to July 2017, to 2018. Tell us about your story that like post June.
Okay. So I had a month's severance, so I felt like I had a little bit of financial cushion. So I didn't have to, and that was maybe part of it. Like I didn't have to panic. I knew I could pay my bills next month, so I was okay. But I knew I couldn't pay my bills the following month, so I was kind of not okay. We can be grateful for each breath. I love that, Ritu. That is absolutely the truth. Every day, every breath, every moment. So in my moments in July, I allowed myself that space. You know, I let myself be, okay, we got this. Now, I gave myself the space. I gave myself some compassion and some grace to say, take your time. You don't have to panic. You can take your time, figure out what it is you're going to do. I already knew that marketing wasn't my end goal. I knew that I wanted to do something that made a difference in the world. I knew I wanted to connect with people and create ripples in the universe of just higher levels of energy and higher levels of consciousness. And so as I thought about that, as I kind of dug deep down inside myself to figure out who am I really at my core, what is it that I have to bring to the world, and you know, that 4-part Venn diagram of what you're good at, what you're passionate about, what the world needs, and where you can make money. You know, I was looking for that center right there.
Intersection. Yeah.
Yep. And I came up with like what I call my 3-part plan. It took me about 2 weeks, and I got there. I wanted to be a life coach, I wanted to be a speaker, and I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to reach as many people as possible at the greatest depth possible, just to create those ripples in the universe.
That is awesome. So let's talk about how things are coming now, in terms of how that's playing out for you now that you've you kind of made a declaration to the universe, right?
I did.
I'm going to be
Absolutely.
I am going to make an impact, and I'm going to turn my volume to frickin' 18 in terms of my values and what I stand for. How's it going?
It is a crazy freaking roller coaster. I'll tell you what.
Okay, tell me. Yeah.
Okay, so I am working as a marketing consultant because I realized I needed to pay the bills, and it's going to take time to build this new career that I'm doing and this new life that I'm building. So I'm continuing to work as a marketing consultant, freelancing, and that's kind of all over the place. I like it. I'm good at it. I feel like I bring a lot to my clients in that area, so that's awesome. At the same time, I started. I researched coach training schools because I didn't want to just say, hey, I'm a life coach. I wanted to be certified. I wanted to have proper training. I wanted to be really, really, really good at it. So as I did my research, found some really shady schools where you can just pay money and suddenly be certified. And,
oh, yeah, that's sweet. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we won't mention any names, but came across IPEC and did my research and said, this is it for me. And I just knew, and I totally can't afford it. Couldn't afford to start it, still can't afford it, but I'm still doing it. And it's working because the universe just sort of brings it in. So I started doing that. I've coached 3 clients now, 3 actual clients. As I'm going through the training program, I actually have a deep dive coaching session scheduled, my first real deep dive coaching session scheduled here. So really getting my feet in, really learning how to do it, getting lots of great feedback, getting lots of great training through the program. Started writing a book in the fall, and then kind of set that aside as I needed to focus on some other things. I'm working out some different talks that I can give as a motivational speaker, and building my website. Like if you Google me, you'll find like my little landing page. But using all my marketing skills in the background there to get that all done. So I feel like I'm spinning all these plates, but I love all of them, and it's just so exciting. Yeah.
And I'm hearing again the idea of opportunity, right?
Yeah.
The way that you're really looking at things and pushing through things. And now the thing that I always want to make clear on is that every person who comes through the Golden Microphone Show is creating their own template. So this is not Aimee telling you to go and get a divorce and get fired, get a speeding ticket, and buy a computer, and then drink some wine. This is a story. This is a story, and this is a story of resilience and a story of opportunity and resilience. And just for those of you who are paying attention, and we haven't met yet, my name is Mark Cordone. I'm a life and strategic coach. I focus on positive psychology, feeling good, functioning well. Are you feeling good and functioning well today, Aimee?
I am feeling awesome and functioning amazingly well.
Okay, so if you're feeling good and functioning well out there, give me a big old, give me a heart, right? If you're having like one of those days, it's like cold, you have the flu, the allergies, you're kind of getting by, you're feeling okay. Those days are cool. Those days are cool too. Give me a thumbs up, right? And if you're feeling hopeful and you feel like opportunity is in front of you, regardless of what's happening, give me a big old wow face, right? I think that's wow face. Yeah, your wow face is so much better than mine. Now, I really feel like this has been a great day to send out a bat signal because, Aimee, you don't even know this, but like the subject of my future talks and my future book is on post-traumatic growth. So growth after trauma.
Nice.
It's also focusing on ecstatic growth. So what are we learning during the most amazing parts of our life, our peak experiences? And then how can we make every single day an ecstatic day? So the fact that you're here today to talk about, going from a place that is ostensibly a traumatic place in June 2017 to a place where you're feeling good and functioning well. What are some tips that you have for all of us on really getting out of that space and going to a place that's much more where you're thriving?
What I would say is, first of all, if you find yourself in a traumatic place, it's okay. Let yourself sit there for a while if you need to. Show yourself some compassion and some grace, and let yourself really feel the feelings of it. Don't force yourself to go, oh, I'll find the opportunity. Because if you're not seeing it yet, don't force it just yet. Let yourself just be, because sometimes you just have to process all those feelings. And the more traumatic it is, the longer it's going to take, usually, just to sit there for a little bit in it. And then,
feel the feels is such a big term nowadays, but it's one of those like matter of fact terms, but then it's also something where it's like, oh, okay, that hurts. I'm moving past it. Next thing.
Yeah.
Next thing. And
we want to shut it down.
Sure. So I put up sit in the yuckiness. Is that a decent paraphrase?
I love that, because that's what you got to do. You just got to sit in that yuckiness and go, damn, this is yucky, and I really don't like it.
I don't know if I've ever said that. Damn, this is yucky. I've said other things, but I don't know. Damn, this is yucky is something I've ever said. But I get it. Feeling the feels.
Yeah, feel those feels, and don't feel guilty about it, and don't and give yourself the space to do it.
Gotcha. So sit in that space. Now I would throw out there, what's an appropriate time to sit in that space for?
And that you have to figure out for yourself. But you're absolutely right. There needs to be a cutoff. You need to say, I'm going to sit in this yuckiness for this long, whether it's an hour, a day, a week, whatever that situation requires of you. Say, I'm going to allow myself this space for this long to do it. And then when that time is up, that time is up. Use that time to process those feelings. Use that time to really face it head on, look at it right in the eyes and go, okay, yeah, this sucks. And then it's yucky. And then, and then stop, because your next step is you're going to actively seek the opportunity. You're going to say, okay, this is how I feel, and it's perfectly understandable that I feel this way. And now breathe through it. I love that, Ritu. Breathe through the yuckiness. And then find that next step. Actively seek it out. Take the situation. Look at it from every perspective. I used to be a designer, and in one of the design books, the question was, what if we paint it green? And I use that as kind of my thing. Take any situation. What if we paint it green? Break out of that box that's kept you right there where you are and say, okay, what if I did this? Throw out all the craziest ideas you can think of to find that shift in perspective.
Yeah, I would also add to that, seeking opportunity is also seeking the opportunity for others to serve you, and whether that be a therapist or a coach. I think it's one thing to sit in yuckiness and then all of a sudden you're like, I guess I'm going to seek opportunity by my damn self. No, there are folks who are, this is an I statement. There are folks who have been brought to this earth to serve and help us and get us through those things, get us to the other side. And I think seeking the opportunity also is seeking those who are here to help us. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Because there are definitely people out there. And even if you feel all alone in your yuckiness, there are people who want to help you. Move past that fear and past that loneliness and reach out. Just as you would want them to reach out to you, do the same. Whether it's friends, whether it's someone you're paying, like a therapist or a coach or someone else. But absolutely fine. And they're going to help you make that shift from the yuckiness into the opportunity, or from the opportunity into the action.
Yeah, we got a third guest today because Ritu's like seeking out guides.
Ritu.
Thumbs up, Ritu. What else do we got going on? What other steps? So we're sitting through it. We're seeking out opportunities. Where do we go now?
And then the third one is just simply take action. Once you see it, move towards it, and don't let the fear of that yuckiness and the trauma of that situation, don't allow it to hold you back. And this is where your guides can be so helpful, whether it's a therapist or coach or a friend or family or whoever, whatever it is, that inner voice of your own. Take that action, move forward, because otherwise you're going to slip back into the yuckiness again.
Yeah. I just need to put up. You got Ritu in the zone right now. She's all over this. Fresh off her interview yesterday. Yes, Ritu was on yesterday. You two totally need to connect.
We already have. Yeah.
Yes. You guys connected? You guys are probably PMing each other.
Yeah, we have an interview. We're scheduling an interview for next week. Yeah, we're good.
Right on. So it's going to be the Ritu and Aimee show next week. My name was Mark. I was the former host of the Golden Microphone. Now I wanted to throw out this. So we're sitting in the yuckiness. We're seeking opportunities. We're taking action. Everything has this idea of being proactive, right? So even at the times when it seems as if the world has taken away all of our power, we can still search for something, or we still have a certain amount of freedom to feel the feels, I think, oh gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Viktor Frankl once said something along the lines of, you can basically take away all my freedoms except my right to choose how I want to react to the situation right now.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm totally destroying Frankel's quote, but it's something like that.
I don't have it memorized. Sounds great. You're good.
I think that's what you're getting at. And so the next thing I wanted to ask you, Aimee, is you told us you're being proactive about your book. You're being proactive about your speaking, about your coaching.
Yes.
Where can we come in? Where can we connect with you?
Okay, so first of all, 2017 was my year of gratefulness. 2018 is my year of connection. So I am yes. So I regularly seek out new people and new things. I'm doing all kinds of new things to meet new people. I'm scheduling lunches and coffees with people just to get to know them better. And all of you out there, I would love to connect with you in whatever way you're comfortable. I would love to interview you for my book, or I would love to just chat and just get to know you. Whatever works for you would work for me.
What are you interviewing? Who would make a good candidate for your book to be interviewed?
Okay, so I don't remember if I've even talked about my book. It's about values, and the idea of the book will help you learn how to identify your core values and then how to align your life with those core values. Because when you do that, when you're aligned with who you really are at your core, things just fall into place. Your life just becomes so much easier. Decisions are easy to make because you just run them past your values. You go, yep, I need to do that and not that. And it just all works. And so, and throughout the book, I have a number of interviews with people where I have them identify their core values, and then we talk about that. Tell me about a time in your life when you aligned with this particular value and what happened in your life. And they're just these little vignettes throughout the book, and I would love to interview as many people as possible, because I'll have about 24 of them in the book itself, and then I'll use the rest in my blog and in other places. So you'll get published. If you want to be published, come talk to me.
For telling your story.
Yes.
How awesome is that? So essentially, you turned your volume up to 18 or 19 in 2017, and in 2018 you're helping people turn their volumes up to 18 and 19 by telling their story. How amazing is that? I
That is
like it
amazing.
too. Well, you
Yeah.
know what's amazing is that bat signal and the fact that you responded. This is my year too. I mean, my hashtag for the year is going intergalactic, not just staying in my room.
Nice.
And so I feel like we're on that same level now.
Yeah.
Now, also the awesome thing, the second question I asked you, Aimee, even before I asked how to say your last name, was, have you ever seen this show before? And Aimee goes, no. And I go, perfect. This is perfect. We're going to have an awesome time because this is why the show is called The Golden Microphone Live.
There
So
we go.
what I want you to do for our last prompt is a prompt that I
Okay.
ask every guest, right?
All right.
I want you to imagine a golden microphone
Okay.
appearing in front of you, right?
There.
And now this golden microphone, it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It will broadcast out to the entire world, and it will be translated into every language, and everyone is listening for 2 minutes. So when I flip the switch, your golden microphone is on.
Okay.
Starting now.
Oh, okay. This would have been good with a little preparation. Okay. My message to the world. One, you are loved. Whether you know it or not, you are loved. And you have amazing gifts within yourself and that you have to bring to the world. And you deserve and can actually live the life of your dreams. And that's so cheesy. I hate that phrase, the life of your dreams. But you really can. I mean, there's a reason people say it, because you have everything within you that you need to be the person that you really and truly want to be. All right.
Boom! You are loved. You are loved. We randomly came together so that you could tell the world and everyone in it that you are
Oh,
loved. How are you feeling, Aimee?
I feel awesome.
Good. I'm feeling awesome as well. This is the last call, everybody. If you're feeling good, if you loved Aimee's message, like it, love it, share the message. This is Golden Mike number 8. Aimee, thank you so much for being here. Tomorrow, we're going to keep in touch, sister.
Oh, yeah.
Tomorrow we have Varick Rossetti. He's an artist, an entrepreneur. He's done everything from starting his own shop to drawing for organizations like the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we're going to talk about what it's like to be an entrepreneur, a creative, and getting into flow. And he's going to give us a few tips on that. Again, Aimee, everybody hit her up, tell your story, and Aimee's going to mention you in a speech or a book. It doesn't get better than that. So we'll see you soon. Feel good, function well. I'm Mark. Take care. And this is Aimee.